to Indie Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and tonight we're going to be doing some movie reviews. First off, right off the bat, I'm going to do Red Eye. Red Eye is one of the first movies that I watched this week, and so let's dive right in. It's directed by Tristan Clay and written by Tristan Clay and Destinie Ordnoff. It stars Scott King, Destinie Orndoff, Heather Dorff, Hayden Wilberger, and Clayton Abbott as Red Eye. Red Eye is a legend. Gage Barker used to be told as a kid. When he found out that there was some truth behind the legend, he gathered a group of friends to hike in the backwoods of Black Creek, West Virginia, to help him use this as a basis for his first film project. To what extent will they go to make this project a reality? Will their passion bleed through, or will it cross the line? Okay, so first I'm going to do the pros, and then I'm going to do the cons. So the first pro is, for a micro-budget flick, it's pretty badass. There's some cool, scenes inside the woods. In fact, once they get to the woods, everything kind of picks up. Before then, it's a little slow, and I'm going to get to that, I guess, as part of the cons. So basically, once they get to the woods, you know, it's death scene after death scene kind of thing, and I had a fun time with that. Like, I enjoy the stories of four friends going into the woods and kind of Blair Witchy kind of thing. Like, they're there to document a project. The only difference between Blair Witch and this project, and I think they kind of explain it in there, you know, a lot of times, is that it is not a found footage film. This, you know, obviously there's some times that you see through the eyes of the camera, but most of the time it's just a bunch of friends going out and trying to document this thing. And the more they go out and the more they see this kid is kind of really trying to, you know, find the killer. Like, he really plans that there's a killer out there. All the other people think it's just a joke, it's just a myth, it's not really real, and he actually thinks it's real. That's the guy who plays it is Scott King. He does a great job. Really enjoyed him in it. I really enjoyed Destinie Orndoff. She was really good. I really cared about her character, and that was another thing. The four main actors and the killer did a really good job. It wasn't just a bunch of like annoying kids didn't get slaughtered. You know, I actually cared about them, so I thought that was pretty cool. So for a micro budget flick, and you have to understand, like, there's a big difference between like a low budget flick, an independent flick, and a micro budget flick. An independent flick could be something like Blumhouse, like Get Out. That's an independent flick that costs like $5 million or less, right? Things like that. They have a bigger budget. They have a lot that they can do with that. Independent film? No, low budget films. Low budget films are like, you know, 500,000 or less, something like that, and those are pretty low budget. Like, those are still a little bit. This is micro budget. This is obviously under $20,000, probably closer to maybe even $5,000, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but you could tell it was shot on a micro budget. And I think for a movie that was shot on a micro budget, that was pretty freaking cool. I thought they did a great job. Okay, so let's go into my cons. My biggest gripe is that something they probably know is a problem, which is it's kind of been done before. You know, the idea of four friends going into the woods to document something. Like I said, it was like Blair Witch, or tons of different movies that you see these days kind of do that, and it's kind of a generic idea. They have a little bit of a twist, but you have to really give them something they've never seen before in order for that to work. I've been watching a lot of these movies recently, and a lot of them are, you know, people go in the woods and then they have to deal with something that's pretty crazy. So I just don't think that they've given us enough that we haven't seen before. I mean, you've probably seen it in another movie. The beginning leading up to the woods is pretty slow. I mean, I understand you have to get to know the characters and kind of like them, but I just kind of wished they got through all the stuff about the exposition of what happened or whatever. And like, it comes back later why they did it, and you know, they had all that exposition, but it gets to be a point where I'm just like, I don't know, like I need things to be moving along. There was a scene where Destiny's character runs toward the killer, and I was kind of laughing because I was like, what in the world is going on here? She runs toward the killer when she should have ran away from the killer. Now, I know that's a horror movie issue that happens a lot and stuff. Even Scream made fun of it, saying that the person runs up the stairs when they should be running out the door. But even they go forth to actually show a reason. They didn't even show a reason. She just ran toward the killer, and I was just blew my mind. Why would anybody leave that in? If that was a blooper or something, they should have fixed that and whatever. But if it wasn't a blooper, if it was just meant to happen, I don't understand it. But that was like that was just a little gripe. I mean, for me, especially as a writer, like I that stuff kind of drives me nuts. All right, so overall, I give it 3.5 stars out of 5. Not a bad movie at all. It's actually pretty good at times. However, it could have been better. But for a first-time feature filmmaker, I think Tristan and company did a really good job. I think they got together and made a movie that they saw in their heads of what they wanted to make. So I think that was pretty cool. I actually, you know, I give it 2 thumbs up for that. For that effort. I'm really actually looking forward to his next project, Inverted, which sounds pretty badass. We just did an interview with him for Frights of the Round Table, and he talked about it. There's an Indiegogo, which I'll put a link down on the bottom. You guys can check it out. It's got, as far as I know, the last time I checked, and I could be wrong, it could be up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 by now, but last I checked, it was up to 1,000 something, and so, if you guys want to give into a project that obviously they're putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into their next project, just as much as they did with this one, I think you guys should check it out. But also check out this one, Red Eye, on Amazon Prime. I think it was for a low budget, independent micro budget film. I think it did pretty well. So, anyway. Definitely check it out. Let us know what you guys think. Also, give us a subscribe and a like. And tell us what you guys think of this review. Did you agree? Did you not like it? Did you like it? Did you have problems with it? Let us know what your thoughts were. It's on Amazon Prime. Also, check out our Patreon for Indie Film Cafe, as well as our podcast, which is on Podbean. It's like indiefilmcafe.podbean.com. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.